What are your first thoughts when you look at O.J. Simpson?
You're a monster!
Legendary football star, Hollywood socialite, or that other thing? Today on SportSlime, we're going to dive deep into the world of O.J. Simpson, exploring every facet of what made O.J. the Juice Simpson such a polarizing figure and igniting what we know today as the case of the century. Orenthal James Simpson, famously known as O.J. Simpson or the Juice, was born on July 9th, 1947 in San Francisco, California to Eunice and Jimmy Simpson. Raised primarily by his mother after his parents' separation, O.J. faced adversity from a young age, battling a childhood disease that affected his walking, which led to taunts from neighborhood peers, adding to the challenges of his upbringing. As he grew older, Simpson found himself drawn into trouble, joining a gang and flirting with the wrong side of the law. However, fate intervened in the form of a transformative encounter with baseball icon Willie Mays.
A legend of his era, Mays was a 24-time All-Star as well as a top MVP candidate for over a decade with multiple first and second place finishes. He led in home runs and slugging percentage, batted over 300, and had 100 RBIs routinely through his illustrious career. Known for his speed, he topped stolen bases, triples, and runs in the 1950s. Mays was the first to achieve 30 home runs and 30 steals in a season and hit 600 homers as a right-handed hitter. He won 12 Gold Glove Awards and led in double plays and assists among NL center fielders.
Mays, along with Mantle and Snyder, was part of a trio of revered center fielders from the 1950s New York team, all destined for the Hall of Fame. Despite being a hero to O.J. Simpson, Mays, unlike Jackie Robinson, rarely spoke out on race issues. Irony lies in the fact that someone who stayed silent on such matters would later use the possibility of racism to his advantage in his high-profile murder case.
Mays, a legendary figure and Simpson's personal hero, took an interest in the troubled teenager, spending a day with him that would alter the course of Simpson's life. This pivotal moment ignited Simpson's passion for athletics and provided him with a positive outlet for his energy and ambition.
Simpson's high school years were marked by both turmoil and promise. Despite brushes with the law and the allure of street life, his encounter with Mays instilled in him a newfound sense of purpose and direction. This encounter planted the seeds of Simpson's future success in sports.
In the annals of college football history, few names evoke as much excitement and admiration as O.J. Simpson. Despite facing early setbacks, Simpson's journey to the gridiron glory is a testament to his exceptional talent and unwavering determination.
Simpson's path to college football stardom began at the City College of San Francisco in 1965. Playing both offense and defense, he quickly made a name for himself, earning a spot on the junior college All-American team as a running back. Simpson's talents on the field attracted the attention of top college programs across the nation.
Ultimately, Simpson chose to continue his football career at the University of Southern California, where he played under the legendary head coach John McKay. From the moment he stepped onto the field as a Trojan, Simpson electrified audiences with his unparalleled speed and agility.
During his tenure at USC, Simpson established himself as one of the most dominant running backs in college football history. In 1967, he led the nation in rushing yards with an impressive 1,543 yards and 13 touchdowns. His remarkable performances earned him a unanimous All-American honors and a close runner-up finish for the Heisman Trophy.
But it was in 1968 that Simpson truly cemented his legacy as one of the greatest college football players of all time. That season, he took the nation by storm, rushing for a staggering 1,880 yards on 383 carries, once again leading the country in rushing yards. Simpson's exceptional play earned him numerous accolades, including the Heisman Trophy, the Maxwell Award, and the Walter Camp Award.
Notably, Simpson's Heisman victory in 1968 remains one of the most dominant in the award's history, as he defeated the runner-up by a staggering 1,750 points, a record margin that stood over 5 decades.
Despite the accolades and individual honors, Simpson's impact extended beyond the gridiron. His remarkable speed and athleticism also translated to the track, where he competed as an aspiring track athlete, showcasing his versatility and athleticism on multiple fronts.
Alongside his athletic achievements, Simpson's personal life garnered attention, particularly his marriage to Marguerite Whitley in 1967. The couple shared 12 years together and welcomed 3 children. However, rumors of infidelity began to swirl near the end of their marriage, with speculation of Simpson's involvement with Nicole Brown, foreshadowing tumultuous events that would later unfold.
As O.J. Simpson transitioned from college star to potential professional football icon, a contract negotiation saga unfolded that would capture the attention of sports fans nationwide.
In 1969, the Buffalo Bills held the coveted first overall pick in the NFL draft, a position they earned after a lackluster 1-12-1 season in 1968. With their sights set on Simpson, the Bills aimed to secure a transformative talent that would revitalize their struggling franchise.
However, negotiations between Simpson and the Bills quickly hit a snag. The talented Simpson demanded what was then an astronomical sum of $650,000 over 5 years, a figure that would make him the highest paid athlete in professional sports history at the time.
The hefty price tag led to a standoff between Simpson and Bills owner Ralph Wilson. Faced with the prospect of losing their prized draft pick, Simpson threatened to pursue a career in acting, effectively bypassing professional football altogether.
Standoff captured headlines and sparked speculation across the sports world. Would Simpson follow through on his threat and pursue a career in Hollywood, or would the Bills cave to his demands and secure his services on the gridiron?
Ultimately, after tense negotiations and back and forth deliberations, Wilson relented, agreeing to meet Simpson's demands and securing his signature on a historic contract. Simpson's groundbreaking deal not only secured his future with the Buffalo Bills, but also reshaped the landscape of professional sports contracts, setting a new standard for compensation in the industry.
The dramatic standoff only served to further intensify the already forming excitement and curiosity surrounding the highly anticipated top draft pick, O.J. Simpson. With his newfound acclaim, wealth, and exceptional skill set, he stood poised to ascend the ranks as one of the globe's most renowned personalities. How would this remarkable ascent influence the trajectory of O.J.'s character and legacy? Despite his immense talent, Simpson's first few years in the NFL were marked by frustration and disappointment. Hindered by injuries and a struggling team, Simpson's individual brilliance often went unnoticed amidst the Bills' lackluster performances. In his first 3 seasons, Simpson failed to live up to the lofty expectations set upon him, averaging a modest 622 rushing yards per season.
However, fate took a fortuitous turn when the Bills underwent a coaching change. With the arrival of Lou Saban as head coach in 1972, Simpson finally found himself in an offensive system that maximized his potential. Saban recognized Simpson as the centerpiece of the Bills' offense, unleashing him as a dynamic force on the gridiron.
The 1972 season marked a turning point in Simpson's career as he surpassed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the first time, leading the league with a total of 1,251 rushing yards. But it was in 1973 that Simpson etched his name in the annals of football history. On December 16, 1973, in a game against the New York Jets, Simpson became the first player in NFL history to break the coveted 2,000-yard rushing mark in a single season.
Simpson's record-breaking performance not only shattered existing milestones, but also earned him widespread acclaim and recognition. With 2,003 total rushing yards and 12 touchdowns in a 14-game season, Simpson's dominance on the field was unparalleled. For his extraordinary achievements, Simpson was awarded the NFL MVP award and the Burt Bell Award, cementing his status as a gridiron legend.
Simpson's remarkable consistency and durability were exemplified by his ability to surpass the 1,000-yard rushing mark in each of his next 3 seasons. He led the league in rushing 4 times during his illustrious career and played in 6 Pro Bowls, solidifying his status as one of the greatest running backs of all time.
In 1976, Simpson showcased the best game of his career during a Thanksgiving matchup against the Detroit Lions. On November 25, 1976, Simpson rushed for a then-record 273 yards on 29 attempts and scored 2 touchdowns. Despite his stellar performance, the Bills ultimately fell short, highlighting Simpson's individual brilliance amidst team struggles.
While Simpson's professional achievements brought him fame and fortune, those achievements provided Simpson with countless temptations. One of those temptations being a beautiful 18-year-old waitress named Nicole Brown. A romantic affair ensued, leading Simpson to drift apart from his wife. His first marriage to Marguerite Whitley, with whom he had 3 children, ultimately ended in divorce in 1979. The collapse of his marriage, coupled with the tragic loss of his infant daughter in the same year, took a toll on Simpson's personal well-being. Her untimely death deeply affected Simpson and those around him, reshaping his outlook on life and relationships. Amidst his grief, Simpson found relief in the support of the beautiful Nicole Brown, who stood by him during his turbulent period.
Amidst the highs of his NFL career, Simpson also ventured into the world of product promotions and acting, leveraging his fame to secure endorsement partnerships as well as roles in television and film. From his infamous commercials with Hertz to his early appearances in shows like Dragnet and starring roles in blockbuster hits like The Towering Inferno, Simpson's transition from the gridiron to the silver screen was seamless.
Before he was getting movie roles, he proved himself as a bankable on-screen presence with his incredibly successful Hertz campaign. His successful stint with Hertz, immortalized by the iconic "Go, OJ, Go" commercials, not only elevated his status as a cultural icon, but also boosted the company's profits significantly. Simpson's endorsements extended beyond the realm of sports. Brands like Pioneer Chicken and Dingo cowboy boots seeking to align themselves with his image of success and charisma. Hollywood also took notice, leading to legitimate silver screen opportunities.
Simpson's career in acting brought him further acclaim and recognition. His portrayal of Detective Nordberg in the Naked Gun series earned him widespread praise for his comedic timing. He was originally chosen to star in one of the biggest sci-fi films of all time, but that role was terminated.
In the early stages of the planning for the iconic sci-fi film Terminator, the producers contemplated casting O.J. Simpson as the lead role for the relentless killing machine, the Terminator. However, they ultimately decided against it, not because of his acting abilities, but because they doubted the moviegoers would accept O.J.'s portrayal of the emotionless killing machine that was the Terminator. While Simpson was undoubtedly athletic and charismatic, the producers felt that his friendly persona didn't align with the menacing aura needed to portray the Terminator convincingly. Instead, they ultimately cast Arnold Schwarzenegger, whose imposing physique brought the character to life in a way that captivated audiences worldwide.
Despite losing the opportunity of a lifetime for the role of the Terminator in 1984, O.J. Simpson quickly bounced back. He went on to marry his longtime girlfriend Nicole Brown on February 2, 1985 in a fairy tale-like ceremony. The couple became a prominent Hollywood duo admired by the world at large. However, behind the facade of their seemingly perfect relationship, a dark and tragic reality was slowly taking shape, leading to a nightmare that no one could have foreseen.
In conclusion, O.J. Simpson's rise to fame was a testament to his unparalleled talent, charisma, and resilience. From his record-breaking achievements on the football field to his successful transition into acting and endorsements, Simpson left an undeniable mark on pop culture. However, amidst the glitz and glamour, Simpson's personal struggles and tumultuous relationships serve as a reminder of the complexities that accompany fame and fortune.
1985 to 1990, early years of marriage and signs of trouble.
Nicole Brown met O.J. Simpson the day after her 18th birthday while working at a restaurant. She admitted she had no idea who O.J. was when he walked in. Despite the age difference, the two hit it off and they got married on February 2nd, 1985. Nicole's youth and innocence, coupled with O.J.'s fame as a football star, created an intriguing dynamic from the beginning. However, their marriage quickly revealed signs of trouble.
Friends of the couple described their relationship as volatile and dramatic. O.J.'s controlling behavior was evident early on as he didn't like to let Nicole out of his sight. Nicole, who didn't have many close confidants, was effectively isolated from friends and family, leaving her with very little emotional support. One friend told the Los Angeles Times, "The truth is, no one really knew her during her marriage. She was never free to be herself or have friends."
Despite the facade of a fun-loving couple, there were underlying issues that caused concern among those close to them. O.J.'s infidelity was a recurring problem, leading to confrontations with Nicole. Friends recalled a pattern where O.J. would cheat, Nicole would find out, confront him, and the cycle would repeat. This behavior took a toll on Nicole's emotional well-being and further strained their marriage.
The situation escalated when O.J.'s abusive tendencies became physical. Nicole's sister, Denise Brown, testified about an incident where O.J. physically removed Nicole and Denise from their home, throwing Nicole against a wall and onto the ground. The abusive behavior was a deeply troubling aspect of their relationship that Nicole tried to conceal from those around her. These events witnessed by Denise had inspired her to fight for domestic abuse victims to this very day. 1990 to 1992, divorce and settlement.
Nicole reached a breaking point and filed for divorce from O.J. on February 25, 1990. She moved into a rental home with their children, seeking refuge from her toxic marriage. Despite the challenges of single parenthood, Nicole began to embrace her newfound independence and enjoyed spending time with her children.
The divorce proceedings were finalized in October 1992, with Nicole receiving a significant settlement and a monthly child support payment from O.J. This financial arrangement provided Nicole with a sense of security as she embarked on her new chapter of her life as a single mother. However, the end of their marriage did not mark the end of their deathly toxic relationship. 1992 to 1994, attempted reconciliation and final breakup.
Despite their divorce, O.J. and Nicole attempted to reconcile in 1992, but their efforts were fraught with challenges as O.J.'s abusive behavior persisted. Records of police calls made by Nicole during this period documented instances of continued abuse, indicating that the cycle of violence had not been broken.
He's back. Please.
Well, okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here? Going nuts.
Just stay on the line.
O.J.'s jealousy and possessiveness also remained problematic. He was reportedly angered by Nicole's dating life, demonstrating a desire to control her even after their divorce. Despite Nicole's efforts to move on and establish independence, O.J.'s presence continued to loom large in her life, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty.
In May of 1994, Nicole had reached a definitive decision to permanently end her relationship with O.J. She was determined to break free from the cycle of abuse and create a better life for herself and her children. However, her plans for a fresh start would tragically be cut short.
June 12, 1994, the tragic events unfold. On the evening of June 12, 1994, Nicole attended her daughter's recital with OJ. Later that night, Nicole received a call from her mother regarding forgotten glasses at a restaurant they dined at earlier. Nicole arranged for her friend Ron Goldman, who worked at the restaurant, to return the glasses by dropping them off at her place.
Around 10 p.m., a neighbor heard Nicole's dog barking, prompting concern. Another neighbor found Nicole's dog outside with bloody paws, indicating that something was amiss. Upon investigation, Nicole's lifeless body, alongside Ron Goldman, was discovered outside her home in Brentwood. The gruesome scene sent shockwaves through the community and sparked a widespread investigation into their murders.
June 16, 1994, burial and investigation. Nicole was laid to rest on June 16, 1994, in a somber ceremony attended by family and friends that included O.J. Simpson. As mourners grappled with the shock and the grief of her untimely death, law enforcement officials launched a comprehensive investigation into the double homicide. LAPD detectives were tasked with gathering evidence and identifying potential suspects in the brutal killings.
Meanwhile, O.J. Simpson was thrust into the spotlight once again, this time as a person of interest in the murder investigation. Detectives sought to question O.J. about the events leading up to Nicole's death and his whereabouts on the night of the murders. However, their attempts to contact him would set off a chain of events that would captivate the nation and forever change the course of the investigation.
June 17, 1994, O.J. Simpson becomes a fugitive. Detectives arrive at O.J.'s estate to bring him in for questioning, as he is now a person of interest in the murder. However, their attempt to contact O.J. were met with silence. As they search the property, they discover evidence linking O.J. to the murders.
As news of O.J.'s potential involvement spread, the white-hot public interest intensified further. Possibly fueled with paranoia from guilt, O.J. decided not to cooperate with authorities. Instead, he made the shocking decision to flee, igniting one of the most infamous police chases in history.
The ensuing pursuit, televised live, captivated millions of viewers as they watched O.J. evade law enforcement in a white Ford Bronco driven by his friend Al Cowlings. The slow-speed chase played out on the Los Angeles highways with O.J.'s fate hanging in the balance. O.J., clearly on the edge of his sanity, was in the back of the vehicle with a pistol touching his tonsils as his loyal friend Al drove on. June 17, 1994, the Bronco chase.
The Bronco chase unfolded in real time, with news helicopters tracking O.J.'s every move as he attempted to evade capture. Millions of viewers tuned in to witness the surreal spectacle, unsure of how it would ultimately unfold.
As O.J.'s Bronco made its way through Los Angeles, spectators gathered along the route, cheering him on and urging him to flee. Many fans even chanted the famous Hertz commercial O.J. starred in, "Go, O.J., go!" The chase took on a surreal quality, with O.J.'s former coach, John McKay, pleading with him to surrender as the nation watched in disbelief.
Despite pleas from loved ones and law enforcement officials, O.J. remained steadfast in his refusal to surrender, maintaining his innocence as he continued to evade capture. The chase came to a dramatic conclusion at O.J.'s Brentwood estate, where he finally surrendered to authorities.
Aftermath, trial, and controversy. The trial that followed O.J.'s arrest would become one of the most highly publicized and controversial legal proceedings in American history. The police had overwhelming evidence implicating O.J. in the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, including DNA evidence and the infamous Bronco chase.
The trial exposed deep divisions within society, with many questioning the role of race, wealth, and celebrity in the criminal justice system.
As the sun dipped behind the horizon of Los Angeles, the city held its breath. The streets buzzed with electricity of anticipation, for on this faithful day, the world watched in awe as the saga of O.J. Simpson reached its climax.
Following his dramatic surrender after the infamous Bronco chase, O.J. Simpson found himself thrust into the unforgiving spotlight of the legal system. The date for his trial was set, a looming specter that cast a shadow over his once glittering legacy.
The former football superstar had held his pursuers at bay throughout the 50-mile chase by reportedly holding a gun to his head, and then remained in the car while negotiating with police. Simpson, clasping a family photograph, was coaxed out of the car by police negotiators, who then persuaded him to enter the house, where he was taken into custody, according to police officials.
Simpson was held without bail and placed under a 24-hour suicide watch. His friend Al Cowlings was also arrested and charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive, and held on a $250,000 bail. After being booked, both men were taken to the Los Angeles County Jail.
Now the question on everyone's mind is, what crucial evidence did the police uncover that pointed to O.J. Simpson as the primary suspect, and who would comprise the prosecution team entrusted with the monumental task of bringing down an American icon under the relentless scrutiny of a global audience?
Let's first take a look at the prosecution team. The prosecutors that took on the highly publicized O.J. Simpson case was led by the formidable duo of Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden. Marcia Clark, a seasoned prosecutor with an impressive track record, served as the lead prosecutor in the trial. Christopher Darden, her co-counsel, was a skilled litigator known for a strategic approach and commitment to seeking justice.
Together, Clark and Darden assembled a team of talented attorneys and legal experts to present a compelling case against O.J. Simpson and whatever evidence he may have left behind after the brutal murders.
What cards did these two talented prosecutors have to play to bring down the house of O.J.? Here's the flop the prosecution was dealt.
Card 1. Blood drops. Blood drops were found on a gate at the murder scene and near shoe prints at the crime scene. The drops, according to law enforcement, contained O.J. Simpson's genetic markers. When O.J. Simpson was interviewed by police, he was photographed with a cut on his finger.
Card 2. Matching gloves. An extra-large Eris leather glove was found at the murder scene near the bodies. Another glove that appeared to be its mate was found in Simpson's estate. According to law enforcement, both gloves were covered in O.J.'s and the murder victim's blood.
Card 3. Crime scene hairs and fibers. Hairs described as similar to O.J. Simpson's hair were found in a knit cap at the crime scene. The prosecutors claimed the strands of hair recovered from Ron Goldman's shirt were microscopically identical to Simpson's head hair.
Bloody shoe prints. Bloody shoe prints found at the crime scene matched a size 12 Bruno Magli shoe. The shoe is a unique Italian-made model. Simpson said he didn't own a pair, but a photo of him wearing Bruno Magli shoes was later discovered and entered into evidence. Simpson wears a size 12 shoe.
And finally, the river. Bloody sock. A pair of socks that had blood on them were found in Simpson's bedroom. The blood-soaked socks had both O.J. Simpson's and Nicole Brown Simpson's genetic markers on them.
An incredibly strong and clear-cut case. Some might even call it an unbeatable hand. It's hardly surprising that O.J. reacted with desperation and hysteria, leading to the infamous Bronco chase.
During a news conference, one of O.J.'s closest friends, who later joined his defense team, Robert Kardashian, yes, Kim's father, read a letter penned by O.J. before his fateful flight.
A note that had a grim tone that was part of self-justification and part regret. In it, Simpson said, "I can't go on. No matter the outcome, people will look and point." He began the letter by saying, "I had nothing to do with Nicole's murder and denied ever physically abusing his ex-wife, but did offer apologies to the Goldman family."
Unlike what was written in the press, Nicole and I had a great relationship for most of our time together, Simpson wrote. He said he had agreed to plead no contest to battery charges in 1989 only to put an end to the press hype over their marriage, which ended in 1992. As a last wish, the letter pleaded with reporters, "Please, please, please leave my children in peace. Their lives will be tough enough." He added, "I think of my life and I feel that I've done most of the right things, so why did it end like this? I've had a good life. I'm proud of how I lived. Nicole and I had a good life." All this press talk about a rocky relationship was no more than what every long-term relationship experiences. He called himself totally loving and understanding of all she has been going through. He signed the letter, "Peace and Love, O.J." Psychologists the police had consulted viewed it as a suicide letter, further painting the perception of incurable guilt.
With the mounting evidence and O.J.'s perplexing and remorseful behavior post-murder, it became increasingly apparent that O.J. was indeed the perpetrator of these heinous acts.
How might the Juice maneuver around the defensive tackles of the American justice system? With the assistance of top-notch blockers clearing the lane, could he embark on yet another explosive O.J. run? It seems unlikely that fame, power, and wealth alone could secure freedom within a perfectly justice system.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the powerhouse legal lineup known as the Dream Team. Leading the charge, known for his strategic brilliance in the court of law, we have the masterful Robert Shapiro. Joining him is the charismatic Johnny Cochran. Courtroom presence is second to none. On the defensive end, we have the hardworking Carl Douglas and the tenacious John Chapman Hawley, ready to defend their client at all costs. And let's not forget the rest of this star star-studded roster including Gerald Ullman, Robert Kardashian, Alan Dershowitz, F. Lee Bailey, Barry Scheck, Peter Neufeld, Robert Blasier, and William Thompson. This dream team is sure to make waves in the legal arena.
The undisputed leaders of this defensive lineup were Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro, akin to the dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe. Much like Shaq and Kobe, Cochran and Shapiro each sought to take the lead, often engaging in competition under the spotlight of intense media coverage as they wrestled for the lead position.
In the midst of ongoing tensions and unrest in America, sparked by racial inequalities exacerbated by the injustice inflicted upon Rodney King, the Dream Team strategically recognized the potential impact of utilizing the race card in their legal defense. The unanimous decision was made to entrust the formidable and charismatic Johnny Cochran to skillfully wield the powerful card into the courtroom. Thus, it was Mr. Cochran who assumed the pivotal role as the lead defense attorney for the Dream Team.
It is the duty of the defense to cast doubt rather than prove innocence of their client. The defense team representing O.J. Simpson executed this strategy effectively.
One of the many racially charged misdirections O.J.'s team expertly conducted had to do with the critical piece of evidence of the infamous black leather gloves, both tainted with the blood of the victims. The defense employed a three-pronged approach to diminish their importance.
First, the gloves were discovered in different locations, one at the murder scene and the other on O.J.'s property in plain sight. Second, the glove found on O.J.'s property was located by a police officer. Third, there was no concrete evidence linking the gloves to O.J. There was no proof that he owned such gloves, for instance.
The initial prong of the defense involved questioning the credibility of the officer who found the glove on O.J.'s property. They had him testify that he was not racist nor used racist language, and then presented evidence revealing his frequent use of racial slurs. This tactic suggested that he harbored biases against interracial relationships, such as O.J.'s marriage to a white woman.
The second prong centered around having O.J. try on the gloves in court, which did not fit his hands. This led to the famous line from his lawyer Johnny Cochran, "If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit."
Lastly, the defense highlighted the peculiar circumstance of the identical gloves being found in separate locations. This raised doubts about the prosecution's narrative, suggesting a potential tampering with evidence to incriminate.
Hence, the gloves were rendered irrelevant in the case against O.J. Simpson.
As the trial progressed, the defense skillfully cast doubt on the majority of the evidence presented against O.J. Simpson. Additionally, Johnny Cochran successfully convinced the jury that racism may have played a significant role in targeting O.J., trailblazing black athlete who achieved commercial success by crossing over into mainstream white America.
The ongoing trial, once mirrored an open and closed case, has now transformed into a fierce political battleground dividing white America and black America. Courtroom drama unfolded from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., captivating viewers like never before. In an ironic twist, a Kardashian somehow found their way into America's first reality television show. From barbershops to nail salons and even water cooler discussions among white-collar workers, the trial of the century gripped the nation. As the jury neared the announcement of the verdict, tensions mounted and America found itself further torn along ideological lines. The question of O.J. Simpson's guilt or innocence sparked intense debates rooted in identity politics. Would a guilty verdict enrage the black community as yet another manifestation of systemic racism? Or alternatively, would an acquittal signal a travesty of justice, leaving many to question the fairness of the justice system?
Orenthal James Simpson has been found not guilty. Black community celebrated the acquittal verdict with joy, seeing it as a possible sign of equality in America. In contrast, the white community expressed shock and disbelief over a murder suspect walking freely in public, despite the fact that Juice was really fucking good at football.
O.J. Simpson rejoiced through the grim circumstances. Just months prior, he had contemplated ending his life with a gun to his throat, haunted by the shadows of his past actions towards Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Yet now, he finds himself a free man once again in the USA, the very same country that once celebrated his triumphs on the football field, filled seats in theaters to watch his performances in Hollywood blockbusters, and eagerly purchased the products he endorsed. But in this new chapter of his life, those same adoring fans have vanished, replaced instead by judgmental whispers and isolation. The cheers, the accolades, the lucrative endorsements, all gone, much like Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman.
Identity is but a fleeting shadow in the abyss, a mere whisper in the howling winds of change. The juice, once sweet and pure, now tainted with the echoes of a shattered past. Former American hero, now a mere specter of his former glory. What horrors await him in this bleak landscape? What demons lurk in the shadow of his own making? 16 months post-trial, where O.J. was acquitted of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, a civil suit emerged. Families of the victims aimed to hold O.J. accountable for the wrongful deaths despite his criminal trial acquittal.
The turning point came on February 5th, 1997, when the civil jury found O.J. liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. This judgment marked a significant shift as O.J. was mandated to pay $33.5 million in compensation and punitive damages to the Brown and Goldman families. The verdict contrasted starkly with the criminal trial outcome, emphasizing O.J.'s now inescapable financial consequences for the tragic deaths.
Subsequent to the civil suit's resolution, O.J. Simpson began payments to the Brown and Goldman families per the judgment. The legal saga surrounding Nicole Brown Simpson's and Ron Goldman's murders continued to captivate the public, highlighting the case's complexity and controversy. The civil suit's conclusion served as a reminder of the lasting impact of the tragic events and the ongoing pursuit of justice for the victims and their families.
Mr. Simpson still possesses his freedom, but ironically, just as he once wielded financial control over his ex-wife, he now finds himself being manipulated by her family through the use of money. Consequently, he has lost his financial independence.
As the sun set on the horizon, casting long shadows across O.J. Simpson's Californian home, he found himself consumed by a sense of urgency. 10 long years had passed since the infamous civil trial, and the weight of the mounting debts loomed large over him. The once celebrated football star now grappled with the harsh reality of his financial situation, his hopes for a quiet life with his children hanging in the balance.
With limited prospects for traditional sources of income, O.J. knew he needed to think outside of the box. His tarnished reputation had closed many doors, leaving him in a precarious position. But as he sat in his study, surrounded by relics of his former glory, a spark of inspiration flickered to life.
What if he could offer the world something truly unique, something only he could deliver? Product or service that tapped into his singular experience and perspective. As he pondered this idea, a sense of determination washed over O.J. Simpson. Perhaps there was still a way forward, a path to reclaim his wealth through innovation.
With a newfound sense of purpose, O.J. set out to explore this new chapter of his life, ready to carve out a new niche that would not only secure his financial future, but also pave the way for a fresh start. But perhaps to move forward to the light, one will need to go back to the dark.
Everyone believes I'm guilty of killing my ex-wife. What if I were to give them an insight into how it could have happened? A hypothetical book detailing such a narrative. Yes, that's it. If I did it. Confessions of a Killer.
Regan Books, a publication company, wasted no time seizing the opportunity by promptly hiring a ghostwriter to interview O.J. Simpson and craft what would become a future bestseller. As the book geared up for its marketing campaign to launch the controversially intriguing story, O.J. agreed to an interview with Fox Television Network to boost promotions.
400,000 copies already pre-printed in eager anticipation, excitement built until the unfortunate cancellation right before the scheduled release due to legal complications. August 2007, Florida Bankruptcy Court granted the rights to the book to the Goldman family as part of satisfying a civil judgment.
The book underwent a title change to If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer, and was subsequently published by Beaufort Books, a New York City publishing house. Enhancements were made to the original manuscript with contributions from the Goldman family and the original ghostwriter.
Notably, the new cover design cleverly positioned the word if inside the word I, leading to a deceptive appearance where at first glance the title reads, I Did It, Confessions of a Killer.
O.J.'s financial woes continued, causing the former American hero to grow more and more desperate. Perhaps that desperation was the trigger for his future miscalculation.
On the night of September 13, 2007, a group of men, led by Simpson, entered a room in the Palace Station Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bruce Fromong, a sports memorabilia dealer, testified that the group broke into his hotel room at gunpoint and stole sports memorabilia.
3 days later, on September 16, 2007, Simpson was arrested and initially held without bail. Simpson admitted to taking the items, claiming they had been stolen from him, but he denied breaking into the room or carrying any weapons. Bail was later set at $125,000.
On October 3, 2008, exactly 13 years after being acquitted of the murders, O.J. Simpson was found guilty of all 12 charges in the robbery and kidnapping case. Following the verdict, Simpson, who had already been on bail, was immediately handcuffed and sent to the Clark County Detention Center without without bail for sentencing.
On December 5, 2008, he received a 33-year prison sentence with the possibility of parole after 9 years. Simpson was granted parole on July 20, 2017, and was released 3 months later. In December 2021, he was granted early discharge from parole.
The individual, commonly referred to as the Juice, has at last experienced a semblance of legal accountability, though he continues to evade substantial consequences. Amidst his freedom, he remains visible in the media, occasionally appearing on podcasts where he boastfully highlights the allure his celebrity status and notorious reputation as a murderer holds, attracting interest from women and enabling him to engage in relationships with college sorority members who are closer in age to his daughter than himself. Yet, beneath this facade, he leads a solitary and subdued existence, often found seeking solace in solitary rounds of golf.
The question still remains, what are your first thoughts when you think of O.J. Simpson? Father of five, legendary football star, Hollywood socialite, or that other thing? Of course, that other thing. Did he really commit the acts? The mystery surrounding Orenthal James Simpson continues to captivate us, lingering in our minds whenever his face appears, a movie he starred in is watched, or his name is spotted in the NFL record books. The other thing will always remain. That's all the slime for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.